Instagram post, potential Cowboys overconfidence, the magnitude of Deion's accomplishment at Colorado, and Giannis once again turning up the heat on the Bucs. But first, it is time to bring in two members of my dream team, two receivers who effectively said, just give me the damn ball. Well, I am about to. Good morning to 88 and 19, Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson.
Morning. What's up, Playmaker?
Playmaker.
What's up, guys? What's up, man? You know, I'm in this little room again. I've never done well in little rooms by myself, but that's okay. I'll be back on set with you guys tomorrow morning.
Good. Well, you got the biggest personality ever in the little room ever. That's all I know. All right. First topic, here we go. Micah Parsons sure had a lot to say on his new podcast because yesterday we discussed Micah lauding Brock Purdy, saying teams are now preparing for him as if he's a Mahomes or an Aaron Rodgers. Not sure Dak loved that. Today, we react to what Micah said about Giants coach Brian Daboll, which was, I don't think Daniel Jones should have been in that game in the fourth quarter. I thought they should have protected him and pulled him out. Their season would be over without Daniel Jones. The Bengals did the smart decision by pulling Joe Burrow, saying, hey, we're going to submit, move on to the next week. So, Michael Irvin, ex-Cowboy star that you are, I am asking you to be as objective as you possibly can be about this team. Are you okay with Micah criticizing the Giants coach for not taking his quarterback out of a 40-0 blowout?
That's why I love conversations, and I love shows like this because we get to converse about certain things like this. And we all have eyes and ears, but we see and hear things differently.
Yep.
I heard something good in that statement. To be honest with you, I heard great sportsmanship right there, saying, I don't want to hurt you, man. Get him out the game. I heard the importance of quarterback play in this league in that statement because he was in New York. We see what happened with Aaron Rodgers in New York. And I also heard, fair warning to everybody out there, if you are afraid, if you're worried about your quarterback getting hurt, take him out of the game. Because if you leave him in the game, worried about him getting hurt, he's going to get hurt. 7 sacks last week. We'll talk about DeMarcus Lawrence saying he should have got 9. They should have got 9. So I'm telling you, this is just great sportsmanship and fair warning that we're coming. Now, guys, I'll tell you this, that we're coming. As we coming. Deion made that famous. We coming. You know what I'm saying? But I will tell you this. It's okay to say that last week. This week, the Jets, they don't have Aaron Rodgers. It ain't about getting to the quarterback. Can you stop them from busting you in the mouth with Breece Hall?
Well, now I'm going to ask both of you, when did Micah Parsons say this? After the game or yesterday?
Well, it'd be this week on his new podcast.
Okay,
I don't know when he taped it. He probably taped it Monday.
So it's probably within the last day or so, I would assume.
Sure.
So I'm going to assume. Mind your own business, man. It ain't got nothing to do with Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, your team, none of that. Ain't got nothing to do with the Cincinnati Bengals. 40-0. If they made the decision that that's not Troy Aikman, that's not Aaron Rodgers, or that's not Peyton Brady, I don't care. That's their decision. Their decision is he must not be good enough for them to care about. Because I can guarantee Philadelphia wouldn't leave Jalen Hurts in.
No.
The Dallas Cowboys aren't going to leave Dak Prescott in.
I would hope neither of those teams would be behind 40-0. But
if they are, for whatever reason,
agreed,
in a blowout game, Bill Belichick ain't leaving Tom Brady in.
No.
It's just not going to happen. So what I would say to Micah Parsons is worry about the Dallas Cowboys in getting the Jets off your schedule with a W. But this is what happens to y'all. You Cowboys, you in Playmaker, the players, the fans, you win one game, you start just talking a lot. You win 2 games, it gets even louder. You win 3, it gets louder and louder.
It does.
You set yourself up for failure and for people to attack you, Mike. You know I'm telling you the truth. You know I'm saying the truth. In the moment that they do
until
this,
they win.
and then they hit a wall. See, here
It's
goes
hard
the
to
same
say,
story
though.
with
It's
the
like
Cowboys.
telling them not to
Always running them
celebrate
out.
until after the Super
He won
Bowl,
one game.
essentially.
Now he worried about the other team. You know that's what people gonna say.
Like,
So
don't get excited
my
over a
message
win or
to
2
Micah
wins or
Parsons
3
is,
wins because you
so
haven't won a
what?
Super Bowl.
Don't care
It's
about
kind of
them.
silly.
Let them get him hurt if that's what they want to do. You just make sure Mike McCarthy, just in case there's a lopsided game that you're in, doesn't leave Dak Prescott in that situation. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, your response, Michael.
See, Micah Parsons doesn't give a bleep, blip, boop, and all of those stuff about the New York Giants. He was talking about his team. He was talking about fair warning, we are
couldn't have
coming.
been. He mentioned,
He really wasn't.
He mentioned the coach and the quarterback.
Yeah, and that was fair warning to other coaches like Saleh and other quarterbacks that are coming at them. He's saying, we are coming. He doesn't care about the Giants one bit. All he cares about is his troops and getting sacked. He just watched that
What did he
man
say
get
exactly, I
unheard
guess?
of money.
I don't know exactly what he said.
$170 million for 18 and a half sacks. That's what he's talking about.
Come on now, Mike. I know you're a Dallas Cowboy through and
Did
through.
he mention
Stop.
Dable
Well,
not
you know
taking
better
out
than that.
Daniel
You know
Jones?
he's sitting
Did
there
he
worried about.
name drop
You're
those
talking
two
about another
specifically?
team that you just
Why would he
erased
care about the
in
Giants?
game one. You erased them. Let's talk about our opponent moving forward. But again, it's your Cowboys. I played for them, and I'm
I see
objective
what
in
you're
all
saying there.
phases. I'm objective in all phases. I get it. But at the same time, let's focus in on Dallas, Skip.
All right, allow me to say.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Because he has a point there. He has a point on the fine line between being that kind of superstar player and what we see Michael Parsons going to be, which he'll be in the media one day. Now, right, so later on in the week, you're still talking about the Giants, and Key is saying, I want you to focus on the Jets. I get that. But Michael Parsons can split the baby, if I should put it that way. He's that talented, he can handle this.
Okay. I love me some Michael Irvin. You know I love me some Micah Parsons. But I did not love him speaking about your division rival you have to play again. You got to play him again.
You see him twice.
And then you got to play him twice
they do
next
not
year and
care
twice
about
next
playing
year.
them twice.
Micah
beat
has
them
not
40-0.
earned
I'm
the
sure
right
that
just
they'd
yet
play him 3
to
or 4
speak
times if they
that
could.
out on that team because, again, he had a big game the other night. He was a difference maker. I thought he was a game wrecker. But you have pointed out to me the last 6 games last year, he had a sack and a half. He hit the proverbial second-year wall. Maybe he's not quite big enough. Maybe he hasn't grown into his man body just yet. He said he put on 10 pounds of muscle in the offseason. I need to see sustained through the season because he did get Brady in the playoff game, got him one time. He got no Brock Purdy in the playoff game at San Francisco when they came up so empty, even though they held him to 19 points. He was not game-wrecking. The point to everybody is I need him to back this up and validate it before he starts coaching the other teams. If you're Lawrence Taylor, if you were at his peak and prime, if Lawrence Taylor spoke out like this about another team, you'd sit back and say, well, I'm listening because he's earned the right to do that. Micah hasn't earned the right. So he's got a new podcast. This was his first episode. So he's raving about Brock Purdy, to me, at the expense of his quarterback, because his quarterback has some fragile confidence. And if I'm Dak, I'm saying, you're putting Brock Purdy already up in the Mahomes and the Aaron Rodgers category? What about me? I don't want to hear my star player on defense talking about the other team, my arch rival's quarterback, because it's going to come down to San Francisco and Dallas just like it did the last 2 years. My point to you is, in the biggest picture of this, you got to learn. You got to grow into
a forewarning for the Cowboys
your
when
voice.
When they get
Again,
whooped
he's trying to
by the
find his
49ers
voice
in
on
the
his
playoffs
podcast.
again. It's just going to be
but there's some do's and there's some
Purdy
don'ts.
was a
There's
top
some
15
boundary
QB.
lines you
That's what I
just
was
can't
saying.
cross because you are
if you get
coaching
whooped by
for
a
Brian
non-top 15
Daboll,
QB,
and
it's
they
a lot
won't
worse,
like it. And I don't care what you say. As hapless and hopeless as the Giants looked the other night, that's a pretty good football team that made the playoffs last year and won a playoff game at Minnesota. By hook or crook, I don't know how they did it. But they could rise back up and get you when you least expect it.
That could be true. You can see him twice again in the playoffs, maybe. But I don't have a problem with the Brock Purdy situation. I don't have a problem with that at all because you played him in 3-4 weeks. You played him 3-4 weeks from now. I don't have a problem with that. Because
I mean, you made the case yesterday he was trying to set him up.
He could be setting him up and making him think he's all that. I only have a problem with the Giants stuff because Giants is in my back pocket. That's over with. I don't whatever. If they want to leave him out there as a pinata, leave him out there as a pinata. I don't give a damn.
What good does it do to talk about it? Where does it get you?
Nowhere.
Where's the win in it?
Nowhere at all. Nothing. Does nothing for me.
I don't necessarily buy all of that. I watch in the same city that we're talking about, New York. I watch people destroy a young man's career that could have been one day headed to the Hall of Fame. His name was Jeremy Shockey. Jeremy Shockey from Miami had a distinct way of playing football. He liked talking noise and creating havoc around him and then going out and performing. And he did it at Miami, and he was doing it in New York on the grandest of stage. But everybody wanted him to shut up and stop doing that. And when he did, he shut himself down because he needed to get ready to play football, how he needed to get ready to play football, not how everybody else tells him how to get ready to play football. And when Jeremy Shockey talked, I watch it in Miami, I watch it in New York, that's when he performed. I like Michael Parsons doing whatever he needs to do to bring the best out of him. Skip, I beg to differ. He has earned the right to speak out. This man has made a meteoric rise in the National Football League. Right now, we're considering and measuring him with the Nick Bosa's and Aaron McDonald's in this world. The best defenders in our game. To me, he has earned the right to speak. And I want to fair warn everybody, when he does speak, you better be like E.F. Hutton and listen, because he's coming.
Mike, nobody said he shouldn't speak. I want him to speak. I was the same way. I talked that talk and walked that walk. It wasn't a problem. I'm talking about the past, man. I'm talking about leave the Giants alone. That has nothing to do with you. Focus in on the Jets. Focus in on the next opponent. You already put the Giants behind you. They're in your back pocket.
Yeah, I think mentioning how and when to take out the quarterback
that's
is
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
At least understand, or at least in this business, understand enough to say when you're about to say, listen, we're on to the Jets. But
we're going to destroy the Jets. We're going to destroy the Jets the same way we did the Giants. If they lead a quarterback out there like the Giants, it's going to be a long day. Give me some of that. Give me some of that.
Now, Keith, you are an experienced broadcaster. You know how to tie yesterday into tomorrow. He ain't there yet. But if you just keep listening and watching Undisputed.
This ain't about broadcasting. This is about being on the field. If you leave a duck out there, if you leave a duck out there trying to cover me or you in a game, guess what they gonna do? Vinny gonna find me and Troy gonna find you consistently until they get his ass off the field.
But, Keith, you and I have had this conversation in our private moments when we have sat there with some adult beverages, and we said to each other these same things. Keith, you remember how they got on you when you wrote the book and how they talked about you when you spoke out loud. I said, but soon as you retired, they offered you a job in TV because now that they criticize you on one side and they say, here's a job on the other, that's what they're going to say to Michael Parsons. Let him do his thing on the field. You were planning ahead.
Nobody's scrutinizing him because he's having a podcast.
He just needs to make sure he's playing just like we
Except I might have at the beginning of
with
this.
some rings. Because then it all worked out well, just like we did.
Because the Cowboys in general
quick
probably
new point
don't
of
need
order on
somebody
this.
on their
I
team
wish
giving
Micah
out
had
any information
criticized
at
his
all.
own coach, as in Mike McCarthy, because I was pulling my hair out.
Nonetheless.
I was screaming at my TV on Sunday night because we went to the fourth quarter of that game, and my first-string offense was still in the game playing a series with Dak at quarterback and Tony Pollard at running back. It's 40-0 in the fourth quarter. They're still playing.
We're going to run the ball, man.
Okay, but what are you doing?
They was mixing in Pollard.
You realize Tony Pollard's coming off a career-threatening injury, right?
I understand that.
Why would you try? Why would you even risk?
You give him a few seriouses in the fourth quarter, and then you take him out. That's all. You take him out. You're running the ball.
40-0.
Offensive alignment. Everybody needs to stay in rhythm.
I'm good at 40-0. If somebody gets hurt, Mike McCarthy is on the hottest seat ever.
If somebody gets hurt, it looks bad. But you don't pull them in the fourth quarter. You give them a series or two, then you pull them.
Okay. Michael,
I'm splitting the baby on this, too. I'm splitting the baby on this last thing, Skip, because I'm with you on getting them out as soon as possible. But now I'm also with giving them some work. They haven't gotten any work. This is the first game of the season, and they haven't gotten any work all preseason. We needed to get ready for these Jets.
Okay, Michael Irvin, you
At the
played
time,
for
yeah, for
teams
sure.
that talked big
Now they know
and
Aaron
walked
Rodgers,
the
who
talk.
knows?
Back in the 1990s, you played for the dynastic Dallas Cowboys that I covered. Yet, I don't remember you guys talking about other teams. I always thought there were lines that you didn't cross. You did it the right way. You all knew where to start and where to stop with your trash talk.
Bravado. They
right?
was ridiculously good.
But they knew it. And they were. Well, I mean, Michael, how many times did you walk on the field and you just knew you were way better than the other team?
Well, we felt good about what we had.
Yeah.
But now, guys, that didn't start that way. I'm always amazed at people who, and Skip, you remember this, who always talk about that offensive line as one of the greatest ever. And I used to say, stop, I was there. That wasn't we were about to cut most of those guys. They were about to get let go until Emmett came and everything changed when he came. There are certain players, that blows up everything and changes everything. I watched the Terrence Flaglers, other guys run behind that line, and nothing happened. Emmett got that line, and magic happened. I'm saying to you, I'm extrapolating from that story of Emmett, bring current to this story of Michael Parsons. There is something different when that certain dude walk on the football field. That's why he's earned the right, and he's that dude.
And, Michael, I remind you of that game at the end of the 1992 season when you had a big lead on Mike Ditka's Chicago Bears at home. Remember, you'd already clinched the playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
Remember what happened?
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson pulls out Michael, Troy, and Emmett, the triplets, and they go sit on the bench. And I believe you took your pads off, as I recall. You remember this?
Right, yeah, I do remember.
And Curvin Richards fumbles, and all of a sudden Jimmy goes berserk, and the game's it's over. And he makes Troy, Emmett, and Michael put their pads back on and go back in the football game just to send a message to the team. I won't accept this. We're going to play it to the final gun.
Yeah,
right?
and that speaks
You know what's so funny? Skip, and it was so funny, even after that, right? We walking in after the game, I said, Coach, he wanted to send that message. We were up, everything was going great, everybody's too happy, and you tend to slack off. So when after Curvin Richards, I went to Coach, I said, Coach, come on, man, we're in a good mood. Let's go in the playoffs feeling good. We don't need to make that. Because he warned Curvin Richards in the huddle, I'm putting you back in the game. If you fumble again, I'm cutting you on the spot in the huddle. I was like, all right, Coach, he went in the game. The dude fumbled. We were all looking at each other like, oh, God. So I went to Coach. I said, Coach, after the game, I said, don't do it. We good. Everybody's excited. Let's get into the season. He said, you're right, Michael. You're right. That morning, about 7 a.m., he called me. He said, Mike, I said, hello, Coach, what's up? He said, hey, listen, about what we talked about last night. I lied. I cut him. I hung up the phone. He cut the man on the spot.
That's the backup running back. There's no backup.
He just wanted to send a message.
No backup going into the playoffs.
He was going to get paid. He was going to get paid. He was going to get a ring. He just said him fumbling sent a bad message. He had to go.
I mean, see, I like coaches like that, though, but that's just me.
I got it. But Brian Daboll was arguing on Monday.
That's insanity.
I needed him to find some rhythm because he had none. I wanted to leave him in. So he left him in until about 3 minutes.
That's such a crazy story.
And again, I didn't have a big problem with it because you are so out of sync. You are destroyed psychologically. You need to have something good happen. So he leaves him in. It's 4th and 14. He's throwing the football from his 32-yard line, and 3 minutes are left.
In my opinion, all great coaches and good coaches do exactly what Michael described about bringing guys out of the game, and then as soon as something goes wrong, you get your butts back in. I watched Tom Brady down in Miami. I forgot who it was who came in, who threw a pick to the Dolphins, and they was up by 40-something. Belichick said, man, if you don't get back in this game. And so I'm used to seeing that. I love that. And when you talk about Mike McCarthy, you were not very happy with what he was doing with the team. You give him some run. And then because if you empty the bench, and all of a sudden, they scored 2 unanswered touchdowns.
Yeah.
It does not, that the morale goes down.
It feels wrong.
It makes everything flat.
Yeah.
That's why you do
Skip,
it.
Can I ask you this, Skip?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this too, Skip. When you say you're not happy with Mike McCarthy, we talked about this in the preamble running up to the season. We talked about what is Mike McCarthy bringing? And we talked about an offensive coordinator who Kellen Kellen Moore wants to throw the ball all over the field so he can get an opportunity at a head coaching job. What we watched the other day was the complementary football. He knew his defense was playing great. He was getting great play out of special teams. Why put this ball all through the air and allow Dak to possibly throw an interception? And we're talking about that as opposed to now, well, what a great win. You see what I mean? An interception would have taken away all this talk about what a great win. We've only would have been focused on Dak Prescott. So he said, pull back these horses on offense. We don't need this. We got defense and special teams working. All three components working together.
Okay, I got it. My biggest picture point about Micah, and Michael and I have discussed this, I need him to take a giant step this year. I need to see him take over the locker room. I need to see him become our Derek Brooks, our Ray Lewis. You had Derek, obviously, in 2002, and you've told me he was the strongest voice in the locker room, right?
Yeah, and Micah is getting there. This is only his third year. He's getting there. You can just from the podcast standpoint alone, his voice.
I think third year is
Purdy, talking about the New York Giants. He's starting to develop some sort of locker room leadership presence. You can tell.
It's a persona of like
absolutely.
I am him.
We'll see.
Right?
Eventually, you get there. You don't. Everybody don't come into the league with that bravado.
But you have to continue to back it up on the field. I've been doing this for a long time, and to the point about Jeremy Shockey,
yes, you do, Skip.
You just have to keep backing it up to where you walk or run your talk until you finally, till the world says, I'm good with you. You know, you can say whatever you want to say. I've seen too many cases of these people. You know, the target gets so big on your back, you can't live up to the target.
But Skip, I'm going to let you rest. He's fine. Yeah. You don't have to worry about him digressing.
Okay, but I said this last year in the last 6 games, he disappeared.
He was in his second season of football in the National Football League, hadn't played prior to his rookie season for a whole year.
He had not.
He's fine.
Okay, so you got him as Defensive Player of the Year?
I got him as Defensive Player of the Year.
If you were right, I'm real good.
But Skip, but were you right too, Skip? You're right in this sense. We'll see what kind of leader he is, because we'll see if those guys hunt with him. What he's doing is calling all his troops. Let's hunt. When he's talking about guys like this and talking about you better pull guys out because we coming. Now, if they continue to hunt like that, then you say, oh, I guess he is a leader in that locker room. If they don't, then you're right. He's doing
I don't think he's much of a leader. I mean, just last year he was supposed to come on Undisputed.
If you have
with
a response to what we just discussed, and, you can reach us at hashtag
I mean, they had everything sent out to his house to have a home studio, and then
man, oh man,
he lost week 1 to Brady, and then all of a sudden it was like, you know,
connected.
I don't want to do this anymore because if I lose, I don't want to take the heat on live TV.